So today we're going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem and how you can use it on the ACT. So the first thing that you have to know about the Pythagorean theorem is that you can only use it when you're working with right triangles. So can anyone tell me why this is a right triangle?
Because the triangle has a right angle.
Cool. So now that we know that we're working with a right triangle, the really cool thing to know about the Pythagorean theorem is that if you know the lengths of two sides of a right triangle, you can actually find the length of the third side using the Pythagorean theorem. So on the ACT, they'll give you information like this. So this is 6 units and this is 8 units. And the first step that you guys should do when you get this on the ACT is to identify if the information about the sides you have is for the legs or the hypotenuse. So based on what you guys already know about triangles, can anyone tell me which ones are the legs and which one is the hypotenuse?
I think the legs are the two sides that make the right angle, and the hypotenuse is the long diagonal line.
Thank you, Eleanor. So these are the legs, which I like to remember because this box for the right angle kind of looks like a body, and these are the legs that are touching it. And this is the hypotenuse. And I really like that Eleanor said that it's the long side because the hypotenuse will always be the longest side of a right triangle. So now we know that the information is about the legs. So I'm going to give you the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And a and b are the legs, and c is always the hypotenuse. And what I like to do when I'm doing problems like this is to actually label the sides a, b, and c so that I can be organized and remember which one is which. So this is a, this is b, and this is c. So can anyone come up here and solve for c now that we have all this information? Brittany? Thanks. Thank you.
So we're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to put 6 in for a plus 8 squared for b equals c squared. And 6 squared is 36 plus 8 squared is 64. And then those two added together is 100.
Nice.
And the square root of 100 is 10. So c is 10.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, and thank you for showing all of your work. So now Brittany has figured out for us that c is 10, and now does anyone have any questions about that?
Yeah, can you do that if you only have one leg in the hypotenuse?
So let's say we only have a and c. So we can do 6 squared plus b squared, which is unknown, and 10 squared. So that would be 36 plus b squared is 100, and then subtract from 100, which is 64. So then what would b be?
8.
Perfect. And that matches what we had earlier, so that works out. So 6, 8, 10 is a Pythagorean triple because it's the length of the sides of a Pythagorean triangle. And so does anyone else know off the top of their head any other Pythagorean triples?
Is 3, 4, 5 one?
So that's actually one of the most common ones. 6, 8, 10 is another one, which is actually just 3, 4, 5 doubled. And then the other most common is 5, 12, 13. So if you guys memorize these, you can actually be a lot faster on the ACT because you're not going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem constantly to find the sides. So let's try one. Okay, so if you got this, and I give you 5 and 13, just using the Pythagorean triples, what does this side equal?
12.
Thanks, Brittany. Awesome, because this is 5, 12, 13. Okay, so now we're going to use all of this that we just learned about the Pythagorean theorem with what we already know about the area, how to find the area of a triangle. So I'm going to give you a right triangle, and this I'm going to give you 3 and 5. So what would be the first step in trying to find the area of this triangle?
You would use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for b, which we know from the Pythagorean triples is 4.
Awesome. Yeah, and I really like that you use the Pythagorean triples as a shortcut. So what would be the next step in trying to find the area?
Would you multiply a and b together to get the area?
You're really, really close. Eleanor, do you want to help her out?
You also have to divide the product of a and b by 2 because it's a triangle, not a rectangle.
So we have a and b 3 times 4 divided by 2, like Eleanor said. So that's 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So the area for this triangle is 6. Does anyone have any other questions? Does that make sense, Brittany? Great. Thank you.